Hi, ma'am.
Hi, thank God. There's a lot of glitches.
Okay. So, ma'am, shall we start?
Yeah, let's start.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I am Diksha Sharma, core member, Placement Cell, Shivaji College, and today I invite you to the section of success stories. We have with us Ms. Rupsa Pandit, who is a catalog specialist at Amazon with experience in the field of sales and marketing. She also has experience in the field of banking sector with HDFC. Ms. Rupsa is an MBA professional who is currently pursuing her PhD from St. Xavier's University. We welcome you, ma'am, to this live session of success stories.
Thank you so much. Yeah, am I audible?
Ma'am, yes, you're perfectly audible, ma'am. It's so great to have you here, ma'am. Students will get to learn so much, a great deal from this session, all thanks to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, ma'am, shall we proceed to the questions?
Yeah, please let's go.
Okay, amazing. So, firstly, ma'am, can you tell me how did you cultivate an interest in marketing and pursue this interest through the various courses and internships that you did?
Yeah, so I started my BCom with GWL Institute. And during my BCom days, I think it was first that I realized that marketing is the right field for me. It was because of my professor who was teaching me. Like, her name is Raksha Kejriwal, and she was the person who first intrigued my interest in marketing. Going ahead, I started my MCom with the interest in finance. I want to try finance board in MCom. And even during this time, I realized at the very last moment that no, marketing is the right step to go ahead. So finance is a subject we're very good at, right? It's a 100% scoring subject. And it is a subject I was always very good in finance. But then when it comes to kind of your interest and passion, I think I was always more passionate towards marketing. I had my internship with Neotia, and there I first met a marketing professional, like someone who is on field, who's doing a marketing job. And even though healthcare sector as a marketing field, we don't really consider, we don't really go ahead thinking about healthcare and marketing much. But then there I realized that marketing has a lot of different opportunities, and thus I pursued my MBA with marketing as the next step.
That's so great, ma'am. Like, you found your niche.
Thank you so much.
So, ma'am, I'm curious, like, what made you shift your preference from banking to e-commerce?
Actually, honestly, banking and marketing are two different concepts for me. So when you're in banking, it's more about selling, it's more about focusing on sales and customer relationship. So honestly, obviously, you can learn like ground level marketing there. You can understand customer relationship very well there from the ground level, daily interactions. But somehow the entire banking sector has a very push strategy, They expect the individuals to push their products by selling more. And my concept of marketing is more about pulling the product. So kind of my mentality and like my perspective for marketing and their approach had a mismatch. So I wanted to change my field to a different organization. And when I got through Amazon, I did not wait. It made sense to move immediately because Amazon was obviously a dream company ever since MBA. So once I got through Amazon, I just didn't think twice.
So, ma'am, how would you compare the work culture in Amazon with the work culture at HDFC?
So first of all, HDFC Bank is an Indian bank, and the work culture in the banking sector is very different from the work culture in any other sector. So what I feel in banking is full of competition. Everybody in banking has struggled to go up the ladder. Like in banking, irrespective of MBA or whatever, wherever you are placed, you kind of will have to struggle. Like I joined maybe in a mid level, but even if you compare me with a sales officer is doing as much as the hard work as I am doing. So in banking, it's more about your personal growth, your self growth. So you have to fight and struggle to go up the ladder. So anybody who you see as a successful banker has obviously worked very, very hard to reach there. And I feel that way banking culture itself is about self growth and self struggle. Whereas I think Amazon was much more of a hand holding for me till now. Like I've joined, it's been really less time. It's been just a month, and the culture is much more good for freshers, and I think it's much more of a hand holding, and that way I think it's different. I mean, it's very much different. And also Amazon, I think going ahead, I'll know the culture better. But still too new for me. But banking is more about, how much you can put the effort. Because once you put the effort, you can see the fruits on your own.
Okay, ma'am. So, completely understood. Like, there is a huge difference between both the
Huge
sectors.
difference. Huge difference. It's like a
Okay.
complete different kind of organization.
So, ma'am, for the audience, could you please elaborate on your work responsibilities at HDFC and Amazon?
I didn't get your question. Come again.
Ma'am, could you elaborate on your responsibilities at both
Yes.
HDFC and Amazon so that the audience know better what to look for, what to expect?
So I joined HDFC Bank as a personal banker. So the role of a personal banker is basically in branch banking. So it involves in around the operations in branch banking and also in sales. So we have around 52 products, which includes everything: car loan, personal loan, savings accounts of different types. So you are meant to sell these accounts. You are given a huge portfolio, which has the top niche customers. So your job is mainly to interact with this portfolio and cross sell to them. And also you have to focus on the operations whenever required. Obviously they have people for operations, but if someone's absent or if you have to step up, that is also a part of your job in branch banking. And since I joined during the pandemic, definitely I had to work across responsibilities, because in banking you have to be there if someone else is not there, to make up for it, to make the branch running. Soon I was sent to a different department. It is called customer relationship management in the salary department. So there I was working as a CSRM, and there I was a customer salary relationship manager. So here I was into corporates. So where my portfolio did not consist of individuals, my portfolio consisted of B2B customers or companies. So I was handling the salary accounts for these companies. For example, if today PwC or any company recruits, they contact the CSRM, and that CSRM will send the sales officers to the place of the induction or wherever the induction is happening, so that the new customers can be acquired by opening a salary relationship. So these two roles are completely different. One is a more of a individual B2C role, and the different is a completely B2B role. And in my new role I spent more time, and this role was way different and way better, because here I had sales officers reporting to me. So that way I had my own like kind of leadership, a small kind of a bank together, because you had your own sales officers, you have your own set of customers. So one way you have to sell them and cross sell the products to them and increase your portfolio by hunting more. And the other way, you have to also maintain a cordial relationship and give service to the existing customers. So this was my role in HDFC Bank in a gist. And when it comes to Amazon, I think till now I'm not very clear, because it's too new. I'm just joined the production team. I was in completely in training for the first month. So in Amazon, what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to find out exactly what are the like the issues with the, like, if you are playing a video before it goes live, it is a responsibility of a like catalog specialist to go through the video to understand what is the level of violence there, what is the level of sexuality or nudity there, and tag them or label them as per that. So this is what I'm doing right now. This is the workflow I'm working for right now. So I don't know where I'll be working next, because in Amazon they have various workflow and they keep changing, as per your suitability. And it's like not a team also, it's like a particular workflow, so different workflows have different managers. So right now the workflow I'm in is this. As per my knowledge, I'm not very clear where I'll be next month or way ahead. That's all.
Sounds very interesting, like very varied and very interesting.
Yeah, but the both of the like roles has no similarities as per me. Like
Yeah.
it's very completely different. But honestly, it makes sense to me, because I'm not planning on being a corporate professional for much longer. So as soon as I complete my PhD, my focus will be teaching as a professor. So the more experience I gain in different fields, the more I can share it with my students and help them decide what is the right track for them. So I'm actually trying to explore as much as I can before I complete my PhD.
Okay, ma'am. So regarding your PhD only, I have my next question that you completed your graduation, your post-graduation, and then you pursued your MBA and you pursued your PhD. You're pursuing your PhD after that. So, ma'am, what motivated you exactly to study further and not just go up for a job?
Honestly, once I entered banking, it was the first 3 months in a bank job is the worst because it's a new culture for you, and the culture is very competitive. You know, you don't expect anyone to handhold you except for your boss or your manager. So even though I was helped a lot, taught a lot, it was still difficult to cope up. In the 3 months, you learn, and then you can start performing, and then it gets easier. So when I was performing and working there, before the entire performance part comes, you're struggling. Mostly you're going to learn. So for me, starting a PhD at that moment was a very big decision because I had my hands full. But I honestly, I was missing. I was missing studying. I have been doing it for a very long time. I have spent almost 7 years in college before joining my PhD, and honestly, the entire I was missing it. I was missing the touch of academics and education. So once I joined my PhD, it felt like that PhD was more of a passion. It was the what I enjoyed more than my job. So even for me right now, once I am done with my work, I open my books to study for my PhD or I'm doing my research. I think this is the passion for me because I'm always more into academics, and you grow fond of it. When you do something for a really long time. I wasn't like this in my BCom. I wasn't like this in my MCom. But the more you do it, the more you realize how every subject or every semester adds value to you, and it also helps you do well in your job. It is definitely helping me perform better in my job. So yeah, that way I think hunt for knowledge, wanting to learn more, was the reason I wanted to go forward with a
That's
PhD.
great, ma'am. Like the motivation to study further, to actually do more. It's amazing. Ma'am, so we have a lot of MBA aspirants among us. So,
Yeah,
can you share your MBA journey with us and tell us how you dealt with the pressure?
yeah. So for me, my MBA journey. So I'll let you know this that the moment my MBA journey was over, pandemic started. Okay, so for me, pre-pandemic was the MBA phase, and honestly, it was really fun. I would say it was different for me because suddenly I had to pack my bags. I live in Kolkata, and I was staying in a hostel in Kolkata because it was a residential course. And my hostel was St. Xavier's, so St. Xavier's is very strict with the entire father and sister culture. It's a very strict university. They don't treat like MBA students like you are free, you can do whatever you want to do. Rather, they are very strict with hostels and timing and everything. So the initial phase was like a struggle because so much of rules. I'm not used to rules personally from my home also. But once the first 3 months passed and we were over the entire pressure of you know semester and everything, and we became friends, I think that was the fun part. I think MBA is fun. I mean, I think it was fun for me. And like MCom marketing teaches you a lot. I do like theoretical way, but MBA marketing taught me the entire what marketing actually is, because my batch started the first fest, and there we actually went door to door for sponsors. So in a way, we were selling our university to get more and more sponsorship. We started our first fest, and it was actually like a huge success compared to the fact that we did the entire groundwork. So the entire group work, the teamwork is something you will learn in MBA. You will learn to work with with people you don't like. So if you don't like someone, you hate that person, you would still learn how to work with them respectfully and how to coexist and perform and help them perform. In fact, so I think in any other different masters, you learn how to work on your own. You focus on your individual goals, but in MBA, you learn as a team. You have goals as a team because they focus more on group projects. You hardly get a individual projects. So staying up at night, for me, we had boys hostel locked, girls in girls hostel locked. So we had to do everything via technology, call each other via that and coordinate that way. So it was definitely a huge learning. And I think because my MD was residential, it it stripes you of your comfort level. You are not at your home to study. You have to make sure that you're not disturbing anybody. So if you're someone who studies all night, you have to make sure your roommate gets the sleep she needs for the exam next day. So you learn to, adjust a lot. So the entire adjustment you learn. So that I think helped me personally when I joined HDFC, because even HDFC I joined in pandemic. So in that scenario, suddenly going out in double masking, spending a day from 9 to 9 in double mask, knowing someone beside you has got COVID, and then testing yourself every month with the fear, and yet, giving your best. So that entire process was a huge help for me. The MBA learning was a huge help for me. So I think they say that, too many MBAs now, the packages are not that good, and all that. But honestly, what MBA can teach you, other courses definitely can't. I mean, they can teach you maybe a lot more about maybe your subject and all. But in MBA colleges, you grow as a person, you grow as an individual, and I think that is something everybody should once in life experience. The entire staying in a hostel and the entire experience of an MBA.
So overall, the MBA experience is worth it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I could do anything to go back to that now, because I think ever since then, we are just at home. We can't even meet people once, we're just stuck at home. So I came home from that, that madness and rush in MBA to settle silent life at home, with locked doors and windows because of the pandemic. So yeah, I would genuinely say it was definitely worth it. It was a lot of learning and a lot of self growth and a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun.
So, ma'am, pacing back a few steps, you did internships at Indian Oil and Bhagirathi Neotia. So, what was your marketing experience like there?
Okay, so Neotia was a private place, it's a private hospital, and for me, Neotia was definitely the first step towards a professional outlook towards marketing. I had never seen what marketing is in a corporate before that, so I was like an excited little kid, who was suddenly in a place full of enthu and the entire work culture. So Neotia, I had a very good mentor, Shurojit Banerjee. He was a very good mentor. He was a head of marketing, and I have learned a lot from him, because you don't see a hospital as a place for marketing, right? But since it is a child and women healthcare hospital, so we celebrate occasions like Mother's Day, Children's Day. So if a mother is admitted with a child in the hospital, of course she has a very gloom set of mind. Her child is unwell. So in that scenario, when you push such marketing strategies where you have a indoor celebration for Mother's Day and all that, you give them gifts, you make them feel special, you go room to room and wish them, that goes a long way, I think. And there, I think in my state at least, I think Neotia is one of the best hospitals when it comes to healthcare and like mother and child healthcare. So in Neotia, I think the marketing makes it a really top-notch place to be at. They decor from time to time, with balloons and everything. It's all a part of marketing. You even we had to plan the balloons. So for the Mother's Day theme, I remember we had the balloons. A mother and a child. They're holding a child. So the entire. I remember drawing the balloons also. So it was really really fun. Because it's like you're in a campaign. If it's a Mother Day campaign, you're planning everything, starting from the decor to what is the gifts you're giving, to what is the outdoor of the like the hospital will look, and also what will you post on the social media platforms. You are the sole photographer also, because you are the intern, you have to do everything, you're everywhere, your presence is everywhere. So I think it was an overall experience for me, because I learned everything, starting from outdoor campaigning to doctor interviews to social media handling to even interacting with patients when they are in like upset. Like if you're in the if the mother is really unwell and and the child is also unwell, they're both admitted, they're upset, so what can you do as a marketer? You can maximum go talk to them, meet them, say a few words of love and affection. So that every way I think I've learned the most of marketing, and my entire interest of marketing was generated there. But when my MBA came, I wanted to try marketing in a public sector, and Indian Oil being the largest place to work, and in Kolkata they have a huge building. They basically have the entire selling and distribution going on from that building. And here my mentor was Maria Bhattacharya, and she was the head of LPG distribution. So I was working there as an intern, and those 2 months was more of outdoor for me than indoor. So I went from one distributor to another. I focus on a distributor in a particular region. So I was with those distributors for 1 week at least for each of these distributors, and I was trying to interact with the customers outward directly to understand how much is the wait time for the customers when they have some issue, what are the complaints, what are the queries, and what are the ways the person on the front desk is handling those queries. My entire project was about customer relationship there, and exactly how they can improve the satisfaction of the customers. So there also I think I learned a lot, because it's a huge company, and even if you take a sample of say 20 distributors, the conclusion is still not a huge conclusion. It's still a small sample. They have so many distributors across the country, but I think my project, I feel, might have given them a lot of like a small ignorance, things they don't notice, that a customer is annoyed, because simply because the customer is waiting for so long, and small things, So I think that we even Indian Oil, you think it's a very big corporation, they don't care about customers, but they really do care about the customers, and they do a lot to enhance the experience of the customers every possible way. And I think even there was a huge learning for me, because it was totally different from anything I've done till now. So that was huge. Both of them were very good experiences, As a marketer, I think those experiences in turn is a long way.
Your internship experience sound wholesome, like really knowledgeable. Like right now we have online internships, and a lot of students nowadays lose interest in the field of marketing and sales nowadays, because there are just internships that do not provide any real experience or training, but they just focus on getting followers or subscribers. Ma'am, how do you think that somebody can find a good internship, a suitable internship that might give them some exposure and knowledge, valuable experience in the field of marketing, and that too in this online scenario?
I think network is obviously network. You must have heard of this, So networking helps. I don't think you should depend on your colleges to give you internships and all that, because in this scenario, I think it's really difficult. Because if you are going to some organization now as an intern, most of them will be work from home, and working from home will never give you the entire experience of a marketing and sales internship, because marketing and sales is on field. So it is important that who's teaching you is a good mentor. So I think the search should be on social media platforms. Anywhere you can try Naukri, or even mostly LinkedIn, I think is a very good platform where you can interact with people, So if you're talking to huge people, and a lot of them are very good. I have met huge support systems from network in LinkedIn, they do help you out. So suppose if a person is looking for an intern, they not always post, but if you're in a good relationship with them and they know you're looking for an internship, they might offer you one. So I think you should do that. You should always be very active on LinkedIn and on other platforms of this kind of Naukri and everywhere, because that is where you get internships. People say you don't get, you do, because internship, paid, non-paid, are more in demand than jobs, because jobs are a more long-term thing. So getting a job, I think, will be much more difficult than getting a good internship. So I think the best place to start is from them, and also you should talk to the alumni you have, to talk to the seniors, whoever has worked somewhere, so that you know what kind of internship these places offer. And the more internship you get, the more you know. Before you can even depend on the internship to choose a real job before you placements and all that. So that way it helps, because you already know what you want to do when you have done an internship. So that way, I think in my college personally, people who had gone for internship in HDFC, few of them are very clear perspective that I don't want to work in HDFC because I didn't like the work culture there. So you get a glimpse, right? And also there are people who are like, I love the work culture so much, that is the right place for me. So they work extra hard to get the placement. So when you go for an internship, you know a lot more of a company, because once you are in as an employee, changing is a much big difficulty, right? You can't just join a job and change. So I think going for internship is a good, and also internships will give you a PPO, which is the ultimate aim of internships, to get a PPO. So I think you should look for every possible network or to get your internships.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So, ma'am, if you do get another chance to pursue a totally different career path, so what field would you like to opt for next?
Actually, psychology. I'm actually trying to focus on consumer behavior as a research. So then consumer behavior is a lot of psychology. So when I'm studying more papers on research of consumer behavior, like doing the entire review of literature part, I'm learning more about psychology, and I think it goes. I think I'm more than interested in that. In fact, I'm looking forward to some kind of a course, a diploma or something from some open university of psychology, all like right now also. So I think I would pursue psychology because today mental health and issues are a very big deal, and no one wants to talk about it, but it actually exists. For me personally, even when I was going through the entire pandemic phase, I think talking to someone who could help, some kind of a like a job counselor should have been there. And I wish I had consulted someone even back then. So I think psychology would be a very curious subject for me. Actually would want to restart my career if somewhere in then it's going to be psychology, because there if you're a counselor you meet various kind of people, and even marketing is about meeting people, and I think meeting people is something I really like. And even psychologists, they meet different kind of personalities, they help people heal, they help people grow. So I think I would like to pursue psychology.
For your field, psychology would actually be complementary. That's a great choice.
Thank you.
So, ma'am, like right now, I would just throw the session open to questions if the audience has any.
So
So, okay, guys, if you have any questions, you can go ahead with it. Okay, ma'am. So we've got one question.
okay.
It's what made you choose Amazon?
Okay, so I think I chose Amazon because I mean, it was always a dream company. Amazon actually is a very good place to work. I knew a lot of people from Amazon through LinkedIn, and I know their work culture, how much they help boost confidence in you, help you grow, and that way Amazon should. It is the same, it has actually been exactly what I had dreamt of, and that is why I chose Amazon. And obviously, Amazon has it's an MNC. It has various places you can walk in, and they encourage change of departments, which other places will not. If in Amazon they even in the trainings we went through, they mentioned about change of department. So if you're not happy in a department and a couple of months, maybe 6 months or a year, you want to change, Amazon is the right place, because obviously if you have just joined as a fresher, you don't know where you want to work. So if you have joined a department and you don't like it, it makes sense to try the different departments than changing your entire organization, because a lot of times you're happy with the organization and you're not happy with what you're doing. So Amazon does that. They just care about your happiness more. So they let you change. They let you choose where you want to work, and I think that was one thing. And also during the pandemic, a few companies have shown a lot more responsibility than a few others. So Amazon made sure each of their employees were safe throughout. Even though they have total work from home, still if an employee is somehow affected by COVID, the steps they had taken, it was all over LinkedIn. And all that I think motivated me to join Amazon, because I want to work for an organization that cares for me. So yeah, that was what I joined Amazon for.
It's like great if a company has good work culture. It's obviously a great choice. So, ma'am, we have a question. How did your work at HDFC help you in your career?
I think HDFC help is actually HDFC was what made me, because I'm really new in Amazon. HDFC was 10 months for me, or maybe 11 months. So this time I was a completely different person from before and now. Like I was a fresher, I had no clue what is job, what is anything. But HDFC gave me more than a 360 view of work culture, work, how to everything, organizational culture. HDFC is a very good place to work in, because it's they provide huge job security. The HR policies are good. They help employee a lot. And when you work in HDFC, everyone in around you are very knowledgeable. They're mostly vintage employees, because no one can just climb up the ladder in HDFC. They have to work hard. They need to be a good banker to even survive there. So when I was in HDFC, I was surrounded by people who were very good. So when you're around people who are very positive, they're very good, and they have fought their way up, you automatically want to work hard. You want automatically want have the zeal to work more. I think it has made me a more of an employee because I had no limits there. I could go beyond limits. I didn't care about anything. It was like a limitless life for me. So I think any other organization I go to, I am so flexible now. I can adjust better because of HDFC Bank.
That's amazing, ma'am. It's great that you've got such a great experience from HDFC. Ma'am, we also have a question. Okay, so someone's asking if they can do MBA as a fresher.
I think I have done that. I was a freshman when I did my MBA. I would, for my personal experience, I would suggest I would think working for 1 year or doing some more internship helps because when you have more job experience, you get better opportunities even when you're looking for MBA college, and also you're more certain about where you want to work because MBA now gives a lot of specializations. So even if you think you like a subject by theory, it might be completely different when you're working for it. Like for finance or for marketing, if you like finance right now, maybe when you're working for it, you might not like it, right? So then I think, yeah, learning the subject on field gives you more interest, and so it helps you go forward with the MBA. I think it makes more sense to me. Yeah. But also it gets difficult to prepare, for MBA, CAT and all that. But it makes sense. I mean, you should learn how to balance both.
Makes sense. So, ma'am, there's a question that do you think that marketing is an area-specific course, or can students of all courses get expertise in marketing, and what are the skills exactly that are required for marketing?
I think for marketing, mostly the skill required is human skill. You need to have that. And we do underestimate selling, but selling is where marketing starts. So if you can sell, then only you can become a big marketer. Because honestly, if you don't know the ground level people, if you don't know the customers from ground level, how can you sit up there in a place where decisions are made and choose what is right for the organization? So I think for marketing, you need to have the zeal to sell. You need to be very, very, very flexible, and you have to really, really be up your game because every organization has a few marketers, right? Like if you see how many marketers work in an organization, it's a few people, right? So the competition is really, really tough. So I think that is why you have to choose marketing if you're choosing it, to make sure you are really, really up the game and you're very, very flexible.
So, ma'am, there's another question why would you say that you still want to pursue teaching instead of keep working at Amazon and climbing the corporate ladder? Because is that not what you were expecting from Amazon?
Actually, for me, teaching will be a very long-term goal because honestly, when you're working for a corporate, what can you contribute to a society? I mean, obviously, you're working somewhere, but then when you're a teacher, you're making the students of the next generation. You're making a lot of impact in the life of a person. So I think that way you are contributing much more to the society. So that is why I think I would like to teach in the long run. Also, the knowledge you have is very different from what knowledge you learn in a organization. If you want to if you want to really pass the knowledge on, I think academics are right for you because obviously knowledge helps when you're working, but you cannot really be satisfied. If you know a lot about the subject, working doesn't really give you that satisfaction as teaching does. So I would want to teach because I want to make a difference in the life of my students. And not necessarily that I plan on leaving corporates right now. Maybe it's next 10 years or something. Because I think if I'm teaching MBA students, the more experience I have, the more better. So, and if in the long run, I might even change my mind, If I'm really happy with my job, then why not?
Yeah, ma'am. Practical also.
Yeah, and also research, PhD is not just about teaching, it's about research also. So I would obviously want to consider to continue my research wherever I am. I'll be a part of academics wherever I am. Maybe I'll be a part-time lecturer if I'm not joining a full-time. So yeah, I'll obviously try personal growth.
So, ma'am, we have a question so very crucial. How do you manage your time between a job and pursuing a PhD?
So that's something I am really, really struggling with, honestly. In the bank, it was a more of a struggle. With Amazon, it's the timing is very fixed, so it's still better. But yeah, it is a huge challenge, definitely. And I will like to thank my university also because Xavier's has started this entire program of PhD, and they are really flexible because they know that they are providing it for walk-in assessments. So they are also very, very flexible. They are giving us facilities only the weekends and all that. So that way it is helping me. But yeah, your self studies are very good to hear. And yeah, it's always a challenge. But since I really enjoy studying, it is somehow I'm managing. And let me go there somehow.
So, ma'am, should one be specific while doing MBA or just go for general MBA?
I think both. So if you're going for a specific MBA, you must be knowing right what you would like. So then obviously it makes more sense to go for specific MBA. But even general MBA, you get to explore all the subjects. So if you are not sure exactly which field you are more interested in, then I believe you should go for a general MBA. So both has its own pros and cons. So it depends on your understanding of the subjects. Because if you are a person who really likes a particular subject and you're very confident that this is what you want to pursue, then why not go for this? Yeah, that is what I feel. It's about you. If you know what is right for you, then you should go for this MBA. And if you want to find out, then go for an MBA where they teach you and then go for the better.
That answers the questions. So, ma'am, okay, so what all add-on courses will you suggest that can help in the marketing field?
Come again?
Add-on courses that might help in the marketing field.
Yeah, I think you can always go for courses with anything that is data analysis and all that. Or you can also go for add-on courses like digital marketing really helps because if you want to pursue digital marketing, you have to know a lot about it. So either you do a MBA in digital marketing or you pursue digital marketing otherwise. Everything you can do to up your game. Even if you want to go for market research, you can go for a small course in market research or even customer information management. So yeah, I think with marketing, the more adult courses that can teach you more about on-field marketing, I think it helps a lot. So yeah, I think the adult courses were quite some, and I think I would suggest everybody to pursue as much as we can.
So, ma'am, I guess this is the last question. So, is there some particular skill or qualities that are required to work at Amazon that Amazon might look for in its employee?
Honestly, right now that I'm in Amazon, I think they look for much of a leadership in you, like somehow because they are very very understanding, and very honest people. So what I face, like even my interaction with my manager and his manager, I have always been very honest with whatever I do. Even when they ask me why don't you say, I was very honest. So till now, what I have shown is I was very truthful and honest with them, and that's something I think everybody looks for. But in Amazon, they honestly look for someone who is very, they can do their job, honestly. They don't need any high-fi skills in you. They just look for some right person for the right job. And it's not a very big deal to work in Amazon because if you pursue with persistency, you can always get in Amazon. Because Amazon is very, very welcoming. And it's about persistency and you know what you know about the subject. So yeah, if you want to work in Amazon, please be persistent to at least get in. I need a lot of persistency. I took a long time to pursue them and then really got them. So yeah, consistency and they in fact appreciate it.
So that's it, guys. I hope all your questions are answered, and I guess that's all the questions.
Did I
So,
miss any
ma'am,
questions? I guess I did not. Yeah, so
uh,
Akshay said one should be specific while doing MBA. Yeah, I think you can answer all the questions. I think you've answered all the questions.
okay, so thank you so much, ma'am. This is such an enlightening session and so knowledgeable. And we at Placement Cell are really grateful to you for sharing your success story with us. And we wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you. But if I can be of any help to any of the students individual, please also please do connect with me I always want to, whatever way I can help out, I'm taking that. Because when I'm a student, when I'm learning, I'm a student, I'm also pursuing a PhD. So I'm a college student, so I understand where you are come from. So if we can help each other up the ladder, I think that is the best way to go ahead. So please stay connected, all of you, and I hope all the best for all of you. So please stay.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.